Down here at Wahoo Warrior, had a battle today down in Gauntlet Games in Lincoln, Nebraska against my opponent named Steve. Steve was running Russians. We played 1,000 points. Steve saw a couple YouTube videos of mine and then found my Facebook page, Bolt Action Eastern Nebraska. Became a member, added a couple people he knows, and he messaged me that we wanted to play a game. So I ended up going down to Lincoln and we rolled one out. He had the train all set up when I got there. One of the things I can mention about Bolt Action in particular is the opponents I've played have been great. And the rule system for Bolt Action is great in that it promotes sportsmanship in a way that many games don't. And what I mean by that is Steve told me a story about when he was at a tournament in Italy of all places, not Bolt Action but a different game, and how the game got ruined over arguing about rules. And I have had similar experiences where I ended up walking away from a game not satisfied because something was technically wrong or there was a debate about rules that swayed the game. And there's very few rules in Bolt Action that are subject to that type of problem. It's so fluid a system, it's so well written from a first edition book. I'm totally impressed. And the games flow so smoothly, they're just so fun. Because it's a standard rule system for every army. Steve was great. I've never played Russians. He went over his army special rules really quickly and introduced me to all the stuff, made sure I understand what he had. Me and him both went over the terrain on the board and what it meant to each of us when we're looking at it. There's a couple things on the board that are wheat fields. Those are basically open ground, but they're -1 cover. They're soft cover for anything firing through them, or if you're in them. But they don't grant you, if you're trying to defend an obstacle or something like that. They're just, and you can move through them at a regular run. There's a couple woods. The woods are rough ground. You have to advance through those. They're staying -1 modifier. There's a couple buildings, and there's a road. The road didn't actually stretch all the way across the board because he didn't have enough material, but he just said this road goes all the way across. And boom, that's it. And we know what the rules are. Everyone's on the same page, no problem. And then there's a couple things where we had questions, not an argument. We were like, how does that work again? Boom, open up the rule book, done. So nice, so refreshing. So anyway, we do roll up the scenario, we roll up secret mission. So I'm going to get to the cut video. I missed the beginning of it, so he's going to be Steve talking. We're going to go over army list, and then we'll get right into the battle report. Thanks.
Okay, go ahead.
We just got done finishing the second campaign. The first was a escalation where we just started with 300 points to get people interested and build their force as we continue to play. And then the second campaign we had was a territorial campaign where you went and attacked different terrain features, and they gave you special troops or an addition to your standard reinforced platoon allotments.
That sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. So just anybody who happens to be watching the channel, says Gauntlet Games in Lincoln, Nebraska, and anybody who, if they've never played before, they can just come in and probably talk around. And
yes. Actually, several of the owners right here have multiple armies, and to encourage it, they, if they can coordinate it, they'll have several games where people will sit down and
walk them through it.
Army.
That's awesome. Good, good. I'm going to go over my army list real quick. I have a, I left my actual list in the car, but I know this is a regular infantry unit with 1 Panzerfaust. This is, I have another one, same thing, regular infantry. They're both 2-man squads. I have the first lieutenant, he's got the +2 bonus with an extra guy with an assault rifle. I've got a unit of veteran. Which one's which? Nope, this is my Pioneers. The Pioneers here have a bunch of submachine guns in there and a flamethrower. So the veterans are blue, and these are a veteran Grenadier squad with 3 Panzerfausts and 4 assault rifles. And then I've got a light anti-tank gun, a medium mortar, no spotter, and then my brand new painted Jaeger Panzer IV. So it's got the heavy anti-tank gun, 10 plus front armor, and I don't even know if it has a machine gun. I'll have to look it up. I think it would. We'll look it up. Alright, so we're going to throw a roll-up of scenario, and then we'll be going to it pretty soon.
Okay, so I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties with this video. But the army list for Steve is Russians. He's got the one inexperienced unit, and they have tank grenades. It's a full unit. And then he's got 2 veteran infantry units, and they have tough fighters. NCO has a submachine gun. And then he's got a unit, a regular infantry with 2 light machine guns in there, and then a +2 lieutenant who is a inexperienced, and then he's got an inexperienced mortar, and then a divisional gun, which is actually a pretty sweet gun. It's a light howitzer, and it also counts as a medium anti-tank gun. And then he's got an armored car with he's got a light anti-tank gun, recce move, and 2 light machine guns, 1 coaxial, 1 hole mounted. And then he's got a big old tank, I think it's called a KV-1. And the KV-1 has 10 armor all the way around it, and I think a hole mount medium machine gun, and probably a coaxial, I don't remember. But yeah, I'm having all kinds of problems in this video, but I'm bound and determined to get this battle report up, so I will. Thanks. Okay, first thing we do is we roll for the extra guys, and I'm able to put a sniper in these woods here. And he has a spotter, and he puts him in those woods over there. So that's a quick thing. And then we start pulling dice. And I pull the first dice. I run/move 6 inches my mortar team in. Then I pull another dice, and I move my regular infantry into the wheat field. And then he pulls a dice, and that is a veteran squad, a big old veteran squad. And then he fails to bring his mortar in, fails to, because everything is reserve, so you have to roll to move it in -1. I pass with my regular infantry, and I run them up to the back of the building. They're not in the building, but they're right behind it. And then he brings his light machine gun squad in. They've got 2 light machine guns in there. Those guys are regulars. And then his inexperienced infantry fails to come in. They have to go down. They don't come past their check. Then I move my lieutenant in right here, and I'm trying to. We're kind of both got these tanks. We're trying to figure out where we're going to do them. He brings his gun right in there, and it's actually right on the road, so it's right in the middle. So I go ahead and bring my light anti-tank gun in over here. Run that in. He pulls the next dice and brings his armored car, and he comes up there and he does, I think, try to spray a couple shots with his light machine gun. And I move my bad boy in there, this big old guy come in, and I fire, and I forgot he had recce, so he moves out of the way. I am in range of some guys with my medium machine gun though, and I'm able to roll really good, and I actually get a pin, and I killed 2 dudes, so I needed, I think, 6s. So yeah, he's got a pin on there, and a couple guys shorter now. That's nice. So he returns, he gets the dice, and he brings his KV-1 in, and he's got a medium anti-tank gun, and I was trying to get the range right. I was trying to make it so, since he couldn't come down the road, so he'd be at long range, and I would be at short. But unfortunately, I was a little too aggressive, came too far up, so he was at short range. So he normally needs a 3, move 4, he needed a 4 to hit me, and he actually did hit me, but he failed to penetrate. So he just put a pin marker on me. My next dice, I move my pioneers right up behind the tank, using it as cover. He brings his other veteran squad in behind these woods here. And then he brings his lieutenant in, his inexperienced lieutenant with a +2. You can see his armor car there. And then I put a fire order on my sniper because I think I'm the last dice, so I don't care if I get spotted now. And I'm able to snipe off a guy there and put another pin on. So that was nice. I killed the NCO. And then I add another dice, and I move my veteran squad in here. So I got another veteran squad. And that one's got the one with the assault rifles. And then that's an overview of the top of the board. So then we go to a quick video.
Alright, that's the end of turn 1. Fortunately for the Germans, everything got to move in. Don't really know exactly what I'm doing, other than just moving in. Probably should have a better plan. Just trying to get to that token. It's all going to kind of depend on what his units do. Recce'd out of my way. Thought I was able to kill a few guys with a machine gun and a sniper, but now it's going to be tank versus tank. And I've got a pin marker on me. Steve, what do you got going on over there?
Trying to move my forces into positions where they can capture the objective and suppress anything that you got coming towards it.
That's a good idea. Alright, well we're going to hit turn 2. Should be a little more going on. Pull the first dice, and I am torn between taking the first dice and moving my lieutenant over to my tank, because I have that pin on me and I'm paranoid that I'm going to fail my check. After much deliberation, I say screw it. I do pass my check. I just move, I advance, move on the other side of the token so my infantry can move up behind there and try to grab that. I'm blocking it off, and I fire my cannon at his tank, and I roll like a champ. I think I need a 4 to hit, and I need like a 4 to wound it, and then I need to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to kill it without just being one of the things. And I roll like a champ, and I kill that sucker. Surprised me. It was my new paint job, I guess. And my machine gun goes ahead and fires on these guys, and even though they've got some cover there, I'm able to put a pin on them. I didn't kill anybody, but I put a pin on them, so that was nice. Max dice, I run these guys into the building, so I've got my regular infantry in there. A nice position. So yeah, really I was happy to kill that tank. So now I can be very aggressive, and he's going to have to kind of knock me out of there. My regular infantry is just run. I believe I just ran. Yeah, I just ran. I didn't even have anything to shoot at. There's no windows in this building. There's nobody in there. It's not a whole lot of good targets. I just ran. I go ahead. Now I wanted to shoot his divisional gun, but I could not see it by about a 1/16 of a centimeter, so I decided to just advance over to get in a better angle of fire for future turns. And I fire my 2 rifles, just their regular, they can fire regularly without the sniper modifier and all that stuff, but they need quite a bit, and neither one hit. So then I'm pulling dice like a champ here. I'm just pulling all these dice. So then I pull another dice, and I advance my veteran infantry up to the edge of the wheat field there. And so I like to shoot at his veteran infantry on the other side of those woods. Now they're pretty far away, but that's what I roll to hit. And I needed 6s, I believe. Maybe 5s with the assault rifles, because they don't take the movement penalty. Even though I'm only shooting 1 shot per assault rifle now, that's the way I'm playing it. And I actually get 2 kills out of all those hits, needing 5s. And my assault rifles I'm playing, since it's 5 points, I think it's a very fair number to have 1 shot, but 2 attacks in close combat, and you get the move and shoot. I think they're a little too overpowered, so I'm play testing with 1 shot. He puts a fire order on his cannon, and he's firing for my tank, and he needs, I think, a 3 to hit me, and he rolls a 2. So that is unfortunate for the divisional gun. Does not hit. So my late night paint job to get this thing ready, or not late night, but rushed paint job to get this thing ready. The magic paint is working so far. And so now here comes his veterans. They pop around the corner, and he's got 2 Panzerfaust in there, and he's shooting one of them at point blank and one of them at like 7 inches away. And he rolled 2 1s. So wow, yeah, I'm totally blessed. I kind of forgot that he had Panzerfaust in there. After the tank died, and after I survived the cannon shot, I was surprised. He does fire his rifles, though, what can see at these guys, and he's able to put a hit and kill 2. So that was pretty good shooting with the rifles. He rolled like a champ on that, but not with the Panzerfaust. This guy comes trundling up here, and he fires his light anti-tank gun at the front of my tank, and he misses. He rolls a 2. So yeah, sweet. It's great for my tank. And he fires his 2 light machine guns at these guys in the building here, and I think he needed 6s, maybe 7s, but whatever. He put a pin on. Didn't kill anybody though. I don't think he maybe did. I don't think so though. So I go ahead and put a fire order on my mortar, and I am I can't see his divisional gun, which is what I would like to be shooting. When I get down and look at it, the edge of a building is just blocking it. So I go ahead and fire at these guys. They're veteran infantry, kind of threatening where the token is, and I roll a 2. So I miss with that. I kind of want to shoot his divisional gun, but yeah, bad positioning on my spot, and I didn't want to move. I figured I'd just try to get a 6. So I go ahead and run my pioneers. I can't get to the secret plans as of yet, but I've got a squad on the left starting to take some fire. They're kind of screening me off, and I'm just trying to get up to that token. Here his veterans advance. They pass their order check, even though I put a pin on there, and they advance into these woods here. Yeah, they do. Since they're not, there's only like one guy within 2 inches of the edge, so he needs to roll pretty high, and that's what he rolls. So yeah, when he's shooting rifles, this dude's on fire. When he's shooting anti-tank guns, he is not so hot. So that's what he gets for that, and he actually kills 3 guys and puts another pin on. So my regulars are getting their asses kicked. But I don't have to take any checks, so don't have to worry about that. His lieutenant comes scrambling over this way. He's worried about trying to get that light machine gun unit activated, I believe. So he comes running over here. And then I pull an order dice, and I've got my light anti-tank gun, and I've really got nothing to shoot at. I've got infantry units on the right-hand side blocking most of my lanes of fire, my infantry units. So I just take a pot shot at his veterans in the woods, and I almost hit them. I think I needed a 6. Normally a 3, long range, 4, cover, 5. So yeah, maybe I did hit. I think I did hit and put a pin on them. Yeah, but I didn't kill anybody. And then I run my lieutenant up here. I'm gonna figure just try to stay close to the center. So if anybody starts taking pins, I want to make sure I can try to activate them, because on the next turn I can try to move the lieutenant closer to anybody who's down. Not down, but pinned down. And here he does pass his order check to fire. And he had 2 pins, so he removes 1. He still has -1 with that, and he had fired at my sniper, and but since he had that pin on there, he needed 7s to hit, and he was not successful with all of his spraying of light machine gun rounds all over the place. He is able to activate his inexperienced unit with the anti-tank grenades, molten cocktails and whatnot. And these guys are actually very nicely painted. I had a close-up of them, but that part of the video got cut out or something. But they look sweet. They look really nice. Well, end turn 2. All right, that wraps up the end of turn 2. It's starting to get really heated in the middle. Got my super tank that is got a cloaking device on. Everything is missing it. It's not even had to roll to see if armor would penetrate it yet. Panzerfaust, tank gun. Another tank gun, so his luck's probably going to run out pretty soon, but I got him in a good spot there trying to get to that token. I got the infantry surging on the board, inexperienced, his other unit surging up there close. Yeah, it's going to get really heated. What do you think, Steve? What do you got?
I think I need to train my guys how to use their anti-tank weapons.
That's what happens when you steal them from the Germans. You get an anti-tank rifle. Good old reliable tank rifle. Alright, we're going to hit turn 3. Should be pretty good. Top of turn 3, Steve pulls the first dice and he activates his regulars in there. They pass their order check, even though I put a pin on them with that anti-tank gun. And they move out here. They're kind of just exposing themselves in the open, but they're going to fire 2 Panzerfaust at the side armor of my tank. And he needs, I don't remember what, but 2s don't do it. So that's 2 more misses. Woohoo! He does fire his rifles and etc., but he changes targets and he starts firing at my veterans that are kind of in the edge of the wheat field here. And he puts a pin on me, but I don't lose anybody. So I was able to, my tank was able to survive again. 2 missed Panzerfaust at the side armor, and I didn't take the skin skirts, so that would have been bad. And here, looks like he's got a pin marker on there. I don't know why. Oh, I activated. Yeah, so here, yeah, I activate the tank and I fire the heavy anti-tank gun at the armored car. It recce's back and go 12 inches. I can still see it, but he's got hard cover, so I miss. I fire my medium machine gun at these guys. Don't kill anybody, but I put a pin on them. I forgot to move though. I didn't move. Even if I would advance, who cares about the -1 to hit when I'm like point blank with the machine gun? That was dumb, because you know, if I would have moved, it would have needed 6s to hit me, and now I'm a dead duck. I'm standing still. His veteran unit declares a run. They pass their order check with the 1 pin on them, and they would get a lieutenant close by too, so it helped him out. He didn't need it, but he runs and attacks these guys. They tried to fire. I think they only got 1 hit, and they didn't kill anybody. And yeah, tough fighters kill me. You don't even get a chance to throw any dice back. So it's like, oh boy, I wasn't really expecting that. I knew I was using that unit kind of to shield off the token. He did consolidate 3 inches to the left. I'm kind of glad he didn't move over to the token. I asked him about that after the end of the turn. He said that he didn't think he'd be 1 inch away from the tank, and I'd kind of forgotten about that. So I pull the next order dice, and I move my pioneers up. I advance them so I can touch the token, so at the end of my movement phase I can actually pick it up. And so I'm on the token, and I let these guys have it. Submachine guns and flamethrower. And then this is after the submachine guns. Three guys and a pin. The flamethrower does an additional 2 pins and kills some more guys. And then he has to do some checks. And now on these checks, somebody make a comment if we did this wrong. I think we did it right though. So they take a flamethrower check immediately to see if they run away. They failed it, but then passed it with their Russian rule, so they passed. Now, at the end of the shooting of that unit, they took more than 50%, so they had to test again, which they passed, or which they failed, re-rolled because of the Russian rule, but failed again. So they were destroyed. I think we did that right. I've never had that come up before, so somebody let me know if we did it wrong. Sniper pulls an order dice, and now that armored car is not in the way, I can see him. Ignores all cover. I'm able to hit, and he's inexperienced, so I only need a 3. So I actually killed the lieutenant, so that kills the squad. And there's the fire order on the sniper. I forgot to take the picture first. I guess I could have turned it around, but I'm too lazy. So yeah, the lieutenant's gone. So that's a big +2 modifier that's out of the way. And then his inexperienced squad there has a pin marker on them. And I don't remember. Oh, I remember why, because I'm taking pictures backwards apparently. Move this squad out of the building, and I'm able to put some shots on. I ignored the light machine gun unit, which is actually closer. I probably could have fired at them, but I wanted to nullify that inexperienced squad to try to make them pass an order check since the lieutenant's gone. He fires his anti-tank gun, but he elects to change targets. Instead of shooting my tank gun, he wanted to fire that before he got any of his infantry in the way. It's good planning. But he fires at my pioneers, and I believe I had hard cover. Maybe not. I don't remember. There's an alley there. He might have been able to see. I think he was able to see, so he didn't. But he still had a horrible roll and missed. But he does pass his order check with his inexperienced infantry with tank grenades or whatever, Molotov cocktails or whatever, so they don't have to take a -3 check or anything like that, so that because they're tank hunters. And he needs 4s to hit me. Since I didn't move, I was so stupid I didn't move. But look at that, 2 4s out of all those attacks. Oh wow, my tank is blessed. It's totally blessed. So he fails to penetrate it. With 2, if you would have rolled a 6, you could have got a glance, because my armor on the top is a 9 normally, and it's -1 because of top armor, but he failed to do anything. I advance my veterans down the edge of the wheat field to stay in the cover, and I'm really just trying to consolidate towards that token to try to help my pioneers out if they need it. I moved myself in a longer range over here, but I still was able to put a pin and kill a guy. Although those guys were standing in the open, I thought about staying where I was and just firing, but the only thing that matters in this game is the token, so I was moving towards it. His mortar, those guys are too busy drinking or something. They're not doing anything. They fail to come in again. And then my mortar, I go ahead and put an order dice on that, and you know, everything is moving. I still can't see his divisional gun, which would probably be my best target. So I figure I'll try to help the tank out, since I was so dumb to not move it. You know, try to fire at these inexperienced. Figure if I put a lot of pins on them or something, but I mean I need a 6, but I miss. So no help from the mortar. My anti-tank gun, I go ahead. I really don't have a target for this either. He almost kind of transitioned his armored car so far back that it came out the other side of the building. That would have been nice, but that didn't happen. So I go ahead and fire at that veteran infantry squad, and I'm actually able to score a hit. So 2 pins on it. That's good. 2 pins are very important because even if he passes an order check, you know, and he shoots, he'll still have -1 to hit. So. And then his light machine gun team passes their order check, and he's got 2 light machine guns there and 2 helpers, so he's got 6 shots out of that unit. If I just kill 1 more, it would really affect the firepower of that unit quite a bit. But he fires at my guys that are kind of standing in the open. He does have the -1 because he's now within 2 inches of the wheat field, so he's able to put a pin and kill a guy. And those are regulars, so. And then I run my lieutenant there. He's nice and protected in a building, and he is within 6 inches of the pioneers and 6 inches of the regulars, and that will end the turn. Alright, that is the end of turn 3. Man, there's a lot going on that one. I lost a squad, but then I returned the favor by flamethrowering and submachine gunning that squad to death. They actually almost survived their multiple checks to stay alive, but they ended up succumbing in the end. Had an infantry assault that was probably the worst dice rolling I've ever seen in my life on that assault. Since I hadn't moved, which in the future I'll have to make sure I remember to advance a little bit so I don't get hit on 4s. But he rolled abysmally, and I survived that. And yeah, what do you think there, Steve?
I think my inexperienced squad drank too much of the vodka out of the Molotov cocktails.
Yes, it was out of fire. Yeah, yeah. I still got to get this token off the board, you know, which is not always. Sometimes a few luck shots and 1 pin can force a draw. So. Depending on how the dice come out next round, we'll see. It's going to be, hopefully I'll get some dice, I can start running away with that thing. Which I kind of don't like my pioneers having it, and now that I think about it, because they could have just stood there and anybody came close to them, they could have really let them have it. But, you know, it is what it is. I think you can pass that thing off to a unit that hasn't activated, but they can't run with it again. They FAQ'd that, I believe.
They did?
Yeah, where you can't do the relay. But I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, we're going to get to turn 4. He pulls first dice, and he is vengeant. They decided to light the Molotov cocktails on fire this time. They were even too close for me to even fire at him because he's only 4 inches away. So I don't even get a reactionary shoot. Comes in and flames him and kills my tank. He rolled great that time. I pull the next dice, and what's important to me is this token, so I run away as fast as I can, 12 inches away. And just got to get them off the board. So now my veterans here are going to try to give them some cover fire. And since his inexperience have already activated, I try to concentrate on, although the inexperience is a big unit, but I'm going to try to concentrate on his veterans over here. And I'm able to put a pin on, but I don't know if I might have killed a guy, but I missed the picture. Other than that, otherwise, I mean, there's just a pin. But yeah, I've got basically 8 shots out of there because I'm using the assault rifles down one. So over here, I figure I can try to take out this squad, and I bum rush it, and that's what happens. He kills 3 of me, and I kill 7 of him. I got to go first because you're not defending any kind of terrain or obstacle, I should say. And I reconsolidate back this way. I could have went a couple different ways. I elected to go this way, at least to give my pioneers soft cover from my meat shield wall of guys against his light machine guns. His divisional gun goes ahead and takes aim and decides to shoot it at my veterans that are in the wheat field. And he scores a hit and kills 2 guys. I wasn't able to go down or anything, so that could have been worse. Took just 1 pin and 2 guys go down. So two of the rifles bite the dust. My anti-tank gun really doesn't have anything to do, so I go ahead and fire it, and I fire it armor piercing this time. I figure I'd just try to kill one, make sure I try to kill 1 guy, because the HE's D2 with +1 penetration. If I fire the armor piercing, it's +4. So, but I missed with a 3. Yeah, I figure I've been scoring hits, but not doing any much damage because penetration for the HE's crap for that thing. And his armored car comes up around the corner here and starts firing his 2 light machine guns through that little crevice way. And now my guys don't have the hard cover of the tank back here from that angle of fire, and he's able to put a pin on and kill a guy with his 2 light machine guns shooting. So, you know, that always causes me consternation, because all it takes is 1 failed check, and I'm not going to be able to get off the board. I'll go ahead and put an order dice on my sniper, put a fire order, and this guy in the last 2 games, even this game starting it off, and in the last game in particular, he's been a golden child. This is the first miss I've had in probably about 9 shots in a row. First miss. So, oh well. I mean, that was an actual sniper shot. So, didn't kill a guy, and tried to shoot the light machine gun unit. And put a fire order on my mortar, and figure it's one of the 2 of those. And I figure I'd try to get these veterans over here on the left, since they do have a few pins on them, and if they don't activate, maybe I can hit them on a 5 the next turn. So I needed a 6, and I missed obviously with a 3. And then his mortar team, you know, finally decide to come in, and I actually, when he finally brought them in, I thought, here's what's in my head. I thought, here's what's going to happen. He's going to fire next round and score 6 on my pioneers, and it's going to be a draw because he's going to end up just rolling great. But that's what was in my head. Puts a fire order on his light machine gun team. Decided not to do any kind of moving with them or anything. He's just trying to get maximum shots out. So I do have soft cover, but he's able to score a hit and put a pin on. So it's long range with soft cover. But nobody dies, so that's nice. Still trucking with 2 pins. And so then I decided to run my lieutenant out of the building, kind of not worrying about that regular squad up there. I want him close to these 2 squads, since they're the ones that are going to be able to get this token off, if anything. So I just move him out there. And then he passes his order check, and he declares a run. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. This wheat field is not an obstacle. It's just a -1 cover. So I'm hiding in the wheat field, and he comes bum rushing in there. So I don't get to defensive fire or anything. And I'm like, oh man, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, and they're all tough fighters. So it's 10 attacks. And he needs 5s to hurt me. And that's what he rolls. So it's like, woo, because he got to go first. And, ouch. So now I get to attack back. I've got 4 assault rifles and 2 riflemen, so I've got 10 attacks back. And I need 5s to kill him, and I get 3. So, yeah, woo. Because if he would have killed those guys, if he would have rolled good or well and won that, he could have consolidated and maybe done some more damage. So he didn't kill anyone. and I killed 3 of him, which means I win. I decide not to really consolidate anywhere, just kind of stand pat where I'm at, and that is the end of the turn. Alright, that is the end of turn 4, and if you were following along, it's been a crazy hand-to-hand combat bloodbath. Over here, I was able to win that one, and then there was a really good move here. That veteran squad, tough fighters, they came in. He got to attack first, and he rolled poorly. My veteran status helped me out quite a bit, and I was able to finish him off. So that was huge, because he could have beat them, consolidated past, and if he pulled the next dice, tried to kill that unit with the token. But I do have 2 pins on that unit. If I don't activate, I may not get off the board. So we got another turn here to run. What do you got going on, Steve? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Dice were not going my way this game.
Yeah.
So, but it's been fun.
Yeah. All right. So we'll pop out turn 5 and see what happens. And what happens is I pull the first dice, and I'm within 12 inches, and I run off the board. So I get the secret plans to safety. German High Command is very happy, and yeah, so win for the Germans. Wow, this was a really fun game. We had a really good time. First time I ever played against Russians. I guess the star of the match, I always like to try to point out a star of the match for me. I don't know, I'm kind of torn. My tank, I was going to sit back and get in a tank duel with him, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to push it up, run it right over the top of that token, and use my guy as a battering ram. I did that in one other game before with a Panzer IV, kind of, I wouldn't say sacrificed it, but I mean, I kind of did for an advantage, and it really worked out for me this game. I would say he did great. My tank did great, but I think it was my opponent's poor shooting that did more than anything. I only got hit once, and it was a kind of longish, well, I guess it was short range with a medium anti-tank gun, and that just didn't do anything to me. But other than that, my pioneers are so tough close with a flamethrower. My veterans are just great with the needing 5s to hurt you can make a huge difference. I like those Russians though, those tough fighters, those are nice, and the veterans is inexperienced, a big squad of them. They did a number on my tank up close, so it was a good game. I'm looking forward to the next time we play. I'm going to try to get back to Lincoln pretty soon. Alright everybody, thanks for watching.